Discretion is advised.
But we begin tonight with a first-degree murder charge against an on-duty Amtrak police officer who shot and killed a man near Union Station earlier this month. That officer, Leroyce Tankson, is expected to be released on bond at any moment. Eyewitness News reporter Sarah Schulte here now with the story.
Well, Cheryl, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox moved swiftly to charge 31-year-old Leroyce Tankson. Fox says several witnesses say they saw the cop shoot Chad Robertson in the back as he was running away. Robertson's family is relieved first-degree murder charges were filed so quickly.
He was charged, and that is the beginning, and we know we will get justice.
Today was the first of many court dates for the family of Chad Robertson. Here from Minneapolis, they came to see Leroyce Tankson make his first appearance before a judge since the Amtrak cop turned himself in after being charged with Robertson's murder. While the Cook County State's Attorney asked for no bail, the judge set bond at $250,000.
I think that was ridiculous that they let him out for so little money and he murdered my son.
On February 8th, Chad Robertson was shot and killed by Tankson while the 25-year-old Minnesota man was on a layover in Chicago while taking a megabus from Tennessee to Minneapolis. Prosecutors say Robertson and a couple friends went outside Union Station to smoke marijuana. They were shooed away by Tankson and another Amtrak police officer. Minutes later, police tried to detain Robertson. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox tells ABC 7's Judy Sue what happened next.
The young man took off running, got a fairly significant away from the officer. According to witness statements, the officer took a crouching stand and shot this young man in the back.
Tankson's attorney told a judge today the 31-year-old officer feared for his life after Robertson turned toward him and pulled something from his pocket. Fox says that's not what witnesses saw.
The young man did not have a weapon, did not make any moves to suggest that he had put the officer's life or the life of the partner or anyone on the scene in danger.
Until they get justice, Chad Robertson's family says they plan to be at all of Leroyce Tankson's court appearances. Before becoming an Amtrak police officer almost 2 years ago, Tankson was a locomotive engineer. The Amtrak police union disagrees with Kim Fox's decision to charge the cop before a complete investigation was conducted. They stand by Tankson, and again, he's expected to be released any minute for bond.
And at this point, no video that we're aware of this incident?
No video, just eyewitnesses, but several eyewitnesses.
In the back of the head, right here.
A war vet helps a tortured animal and ends up taking a beating. 3 punks thrown in the slammer.
Fox 35's Holly Bristow is live in Daytona Beach with this story. Holly.
Louie, and the disabled veteran tells me that he really enjoys taking his 18-month-old daughter down here to the pond at their apartment complex to feed the ducks and watch the turtles. He says never in a million years did he imagine he would wind up having to defend himself, trying to defend one of these helpless animals.
But he had the turtle like this, slamming it down. Somebody's cleaned off the sidewalk now, but this was coated with blood.
A horrific scene playing out alongside this pond. Gary Blau, a disabled Navy veteran, says his wife had taken their toddler to get the mail when the two came home crying hysterically.
And they said there's 3 guys out here killing a turtle.
He says when he walked outside, 3 guys were torturing a helpless turtle.
To see the guy throwing the turtle down on his shell, you know, as hard as he could, you know, and they were kicking the turtle that way, away from the lake, you know, away from the pond.
Gary says he asked the guys to leave the turtle alone, then led the animal back to the water. Then he says they pounced on him.
Well, I had my head turned, 2 of them started hitting me in the back of the head and stuff, and started punching me. And next thing I know, you know, we're in the scuffle, and I'm fighting 3 of them at the same time, defending myself.
He says the 3 men punched and kicked him over and over.
This one's going down.
In the back of the head, right here. They hit him right there. Oh my God. And he has a metal plate.
Gary's eye now purple and swollen
and he may have a concussion. But he says he's in better shape than that turtle.
One of its legs was up here. When he slapped that down, it shot stuff outside. So I don't doubt that turtle died.
All 3 young suspects arrested, 16, 18, 23 years old. The older 2 facing a judge charged with aggravated battery and animal cruelty. Carrie's wife is still shocked and disgusted by what she saw.
My husband, who is disabled, tried to save a poor animal's life. He gets beaten up.
The 16-year-old's being held at the juvenile jail. The 2 older suspects are now being held on $15,000.
Testimony in the Nathan Holden murder trial. Holden is accused of killing the parents of his ex-wife, then shooting his ex-wife as their 3 children hid in a closet. WRAL Sloan Heffernan joins us now with a disturbing testimony from a social worker who spoke with the accused killer hours after the murder. Sloan?
That social worker described a man with no remorse. Earlier today, deputies took the stand and described what they saw when they arrived at the scene today. They say they found Angelia Taylor, LaTanya Allen's mother, dead in a bedroom and found Allen critically wounded. It took about 20 minutes, they said, to locate Allen's father, Sylvester, whose body, they say, was discovered in the middle of the yard. And for the first time, we saw the gun that was found with the suspect. And also a doctor took the stand and talked about the brutal injuries to the face of Allen, who is Nathan Holden's former wife. And then the social worker took the stand and described Holden's harsh reaction to the crime.
I asked him, why did he do that? That, they were very nice people. And he said, what's done is done. They got what they deserved. He said that, all this was her fault if she just would have answered the phone, that he continuously tried to call her all day. He called her and she wouldn't answer the phone. And if she would have answered the phone, none of this would have happened.
The testimony isn't expected to get any easier on Monday when a deputy, one of the first on the scene, shares a video of a conversation that he had with the couple's children who witnessed the attack. The trial is expected to last at least through next week. If convicted, he could face the death penalty.
Disturbing double murder-suicide here at the Oliver Crossing Apartments in Mosby Court. We are learning more about the man police say killed 2 women, then turned the gun on himself. 23-year-old Walter Gaines III had several felonies, including robbery with the use of a firearm. He was convicted in 2013. A judge then sentenced him to 10 years behind bars, where 8 years were suspended. In 2015, Gaines was convicted of robbing a gas station, a probation violation. He was sentenced the rest of his term, 8 years, but a judge suspended 7 years and 8 months of that sentence. Now, police believe Gaines shot 24-year-old Shaquinda Walker and 55-year-old Deborah Walker to death. They were the mother and grandmother to his 4-year-old little girl. Police say that 4-year-old daughter and her half-brother were inside the apartment at the time of the killings, and they may have been with their bodies for several days. I did speak to the father of the little boy that was inside the apartment. He is staying with his dad in Petersburg now. I am told that he is trying to focus on his son right now, including his mental health. He has set up a GoFundMe page to help with the cost. That will be linked to our story on WTVR.com.
An Orangeburg County man has been charged with sexually assaulting a teenager multiple times. Authorities say 37-year-old Levio King was charged with second-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. The victim says that between November of 2015 and December of last year, King assaulted her close to 30 times. King has been given a bond of $40,000 and faces 20 years in prison if convicted.
But the big story on Action News tonight is the arrest of a teacher in Norristown on multiple charges of sexual assault involving a minor. 32-year-old Michael Barbie has been a teacher in the early learning program at St. Francis of Assisi in Norristown. Action News reporter John Rollins is live at the Learning Center tonight. And John, what are the details?
Well, this all happened rather quickly, Jim. A little 3-year-old girl here complained to another teacher last Wednesday. That was the 8th of February. Police interviewed Barbie on the 10th, that's Friday, and he was arraigned on the 11th, Saturday. Michael Barbie faces multiple counts related to indecent assault. According to the police affidavit, a 3-year-old girl who attended the Learning Center complained and said Barbie covered her mouth when he touched her. Police say Barbie initially told them he had not touched the girl in a sexual nature. But police say after agreeing to a polygraph exam, Barbie allegedly admitted he had indecent sexual contact with the 3-year-old, allegedly telling police he did so after the 3-year-old had called him, quote, stupid. Parents today reacted to the news.
He was friendly. The kids liked him. I liked him. You just never know.
This parent told us he removed his daughter from the center last year, saying he and his wife were uncomfortable with the suspect.
It's just shocking that this could happen, and you know, I'm just wondering if if it happened to my daughter or anything like that, because she was there under his care, and we had a feeling that something was wrong.
A statement today from the Archdiocese says these charges are serious and disturbing. The Archdiocese is cooperating fully with law enforcement regarding this matter and remains fervently committed to preventing child abuse as well as protecting the children and young people entrusted in its care. Well, the Archdiocese went on in his statement to say that Mr. Barbie underwent all the appropriate background checks before beginning his employment term here. He is 32 years old. Barbie is from Gladden, and he remains in custody this evening, apparently unable to make the $750,000 payment.